How's it going, everybody? ZBilbs back here doing another metal video, and today I'm going to be doing my last video on my series of Iron Maiden videos that I've been doing recently, and I'm going to finish it off with my top 20 favorite Iron Maiden songs. This is a very hard list to make because Iron Maiden's got so many great songs in there. It's really hard just whittling it down to 20. Um, I'm gonna get going. Some quick words beforehand. I'm probably not gonna give enough time talking about each one of these, but to keep this from being in a brutally long video, I'm gonna try to be concise on all of these, and I'm probably gonna have a lot of picks that you're all gonna not agree with, but be civil and let me know what your favorites are. But I'm gonna rattle off five quick honorable mentions to start. So let's get rolling. So my five honorable mentions, starting with I've got When the Wild Wind Blows. This is one of the best ones off of The Final Frontier. Just a long, epic ballad, really fun, really timely, meaningful to a lot of stuff going on today. At my next honorable mention, I've got Children of the Damned, another absolutely classic song from Number of the Beast. Just super fun, really great. My next honorable mention, I've got The Days of Future Past, an absolutely awesome song, quick, concise, but super fun, super memorable from Senjutsu, newer song. Next up, I've got my favorite off of the first album, Iron Maiden, and that is Remember Tomorrow. This is my favorite Paul Di'Anno song. It's heavy, it's intense, but it's also, Paul's voice is so just can be also light and just wonderful. It's just a great song. And then my next honorable mention, my last one, is The Talisman, my favorite song off of Final Frontier. I love it. It starts off slow as kind of like a sailor's jig, and then it gets rolling, and then Bruce's voice is just absolutely just magnetic in this. It's fantastic. But those are my quick five honorable mentions. But moving on into my actual top 20, I'm starting it off at number 20 with Out of the Shadows, my favorite song off of A Matter of Life and Death. I don't have much really to say about the song besides, it's just super fun, not too long, not too short. Bruce's voice is absolutely fantastic. I love the main chorus when he starts singing Out of the Shadows, the actual line. So great, really fun. Next up at number 19, I have got the title track, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. This is most people's favorite song from the actual album, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. It's not quite my favorite, but I love this song. I think I put it at 5 on my favorite Iron Maiden title tracks. It's absolutely excellent. It's one of their more longer ballads. It does so good of like kind of having that main theme of the actual Seventh Son of a Seventh Son storyline that they had throughout the actual album. They have that short little refrain in the middle of the song where they have that actual speaker talking about the seventh son of a seventh son. Um, it's absolutely excellent. It's a little bit too long for me, and I'm not quite as much of a fan of the main chorus, which is why it's not quite higher. I do have some long songs in here, but I just think some other higher ones are better. But next up at number 18, I have got my favorite song off of Somewhere in Time, and that is Wasted Years. This is just a really fast-paced, fun, interesting song. It's definitely one that you can just play, and it's just quick, fun, played over and over again, and it doesn't get old. Just awesome song. All right, next up at 17. Now, I always have a handful of controversial picks in my list, and this is probably going to be my most controversial. Maybe. We'll see. But at 17, I've got Number of the Beast. Now, I absolutely love this song. This is number 1 for a lot of people, and this was in my top 10 for the longest of time until I kept listening to more and more Iron Maiden songs, and then it kept just dropping farther, not because it's bad or anything, there's just more songs that I like more than it, But I mean, what is there really to say? It's Number the Beast. It has absolutely excellent opener and like that kind of dark, creepy tone. It has one of the most iconic Iron Maiden riffs. It's got one of those, fun stories, like kind of darker stories and whatnot. Uh, it's great, just like other ones a bit more. Next up at number 16, I've got another new one off of Senjutsu, and that is Hell on Earth. This is another absolutely awesome epic ballad. It reminds you a lot of When the Wild Wind Blows, and I like it even more than When the Wild Wind Blows. I think it's even more varied in the sound, even more fun in the theme. Once again, this is probably the best Bruce sounds on the entire album of Senjutsu. It is one of my favorite longer Iron Maiden ballads. And check out my Senjutsu review for more thoughts on this one, but Hell on Earth, absolutely excellent. Next up at 15, another song off of Seventh Son of Seventh Son, and that is Moonchild. An absolutely excellent, one of the best openers to a Iron Maiden album, in my opinion. Moonchild starts it off with the Seven Deadly Sins thing, and then just the main chorus is just so good when he's just bellowing Moonchild out there. Just fun, fast paced. I feel like this one is kind of slept on by a lot of people, but it's it's absolutely excellent. Next up at 14, or is it 15? I'll have it up there. I've got the Book of Souls. Book of Souls is, it's the Book of Souls. This is one of those songs, one of those albums that brought a lot of older Maiden fans back. It's another one of those, it's like a 10-minute song, kind of like Hell on Earth, and it's great. The whole theme with like the Mayan stuff and whatnot. It's another song that, Bruce's voice really shines. He's like, just really powerful, really energetic and fun. Just every time I listen to it, I feel like I like it a bit more. Book of Souls, absolutely awesome song. Next up at 13, I have got my favorite Paul Di'Anno song. I said that it was Remember Tomorrow earlier, but I completely forgot about this one, but how could I forget about it? It's Murders in the Rue Morgue, where Remember Tomorrow was the more like light, melodic Paul Di'Anno stuff. This is his more like hardcore, gritty stuff, and it is the absolute best when it comes to that type of Paul Di'Anno stuff. For a lot of people, they like, Wrathchild is their favorite Paul Di'Anno, and I enjoy Wrathchild, but for me, Murders in the Rue Morgue is just Wrathchild, but longer and even more fun and energetic. Awesome guitar work in there. Just freaking awesome. Best Paul Di'Anno gets, in my opinion, coming in at a solid 13. Moving on to number 12, another controversial pick, but my favorite song off of Senjutsu. You'll know if you've seen my review of it, and that is The Writing on the Wall. Now, I know this is a relatively controversial song and a controversial pick because a lot of Maiden fans and metal fans are not a huge fan of this song because I say it's a little too, I don't know, like folky or country. It just doesn't sound Maiden. And I love it nonetheless. I think really interesting story in there. I love the different musical vibes. I think Bruce sounds great. It's a really solid length. It's really just fun and to the point, and it's more than any other song on Senjutsu. I can come back and listen to it over and over and over. I can't even tell you how many times I've listened to this song, and just every single time I love it. Writing on the Wall, absolutely great song, coming in at number 12. But next up at number 11, I have got Afraid to Shoot Strangers, my second favorite song off of Fear of the Dark. This is a absolutely classic Iron Maiden song. Starting off slowly, having that war theme that's kind of common in there. It was really timely, I think, during the Iraq War or something like that. and then building up slowly, that riff in there, that like that gets stuck in my head so much. I love it so much. And then once you get into Afraid to Shoot Strangers, and then it builds up until he's screaming it, and then it like goes back down, that kind of common like roller coaster of Iron Maiden stuff. It's such a great song. I'm so sad that it didn't quite sneak into my top 10, but there are other Iron Maiden songs that I like more. So that closes out my 20 through 11. Next up, these are absolutely best of the best Iron Maiden songs, in my opinion. So hard to put these at certain spots, but yeah. But starting off at number 10, I've got my favorite song off of the Book of Souls, and that is If Eternity Should Fail. I believe this one and Empire of the Clouds are the two that Bruce wrote solo. And man, he should write solo more, because this song is so freaking good. Although I do love Book of Souls a lot, for me this one is a little shorter, a little more concise, and has a more fun chorus. I also absolutely love how it ends. I don't think any other Iron Maiden song ends in such a creepy, poignant, memorable way, where like Necropolis is talking or whatnot. Like, I have no idea if this is trying to be like Eddie or something, but man, like every time I listen to a song, I'm like, oh geez, like that's such a cool way to end the song. Um, just great song. I listen to it so much. Wonderful. Next up at number 9, I've got my favorite Blaze Bayley song, and actually I think the only Blaze Bayley song that I have on this list. Definitely, I doubt anyone else would put this song so high, but I love it. That is Como Estais, Amigos. I think I've mentioned a few other times how much I love this song, and just the more I listen to it, the more I love it. It has just such a great range from Blaze. It has that more like mellow, somber, melodic stuff, and then it like, it builds and builds. It has that classic rise and fall throughout the structure of Iron Maiden stuff. It's just so emotional, so powerful. That main chorus gets stuck in my head so much, of if we live for 100 years, amigos, no more tears. Like, sorry, I'm gonna try not to sing the songs as much as I can, but it's hard because they're so great. Como Estais, Amigos, I think it's really slept on. I think it's an absolutely fantastic Iron Maiden song. But next up at number 8, this is another one that a lot of people put at their number 1. It's a great song, and that is The Trooper. This one, just like Number of the Beast, The Trooper is really just The Trooper. It's fast paced, it's interesting, it's telling a fun story of, putting yourself in the shoes of like some soldier fighting and dying, and just the classic, oh, like, I'm doing it again, but it's so good, and that's like the main thing you remember from this. Bruce, oh my gosh, his vocals are just so good. I don't know how many times I'm gonna say how good Bruce is, but Bruce is fantastic. The Trooper is fantastic. Not higher, because I like some other ones better, of course. Next up at 7, I have got another off of Number of the Beast, and that is Run to the Hills. I know a lot of people say that this one is just Running Free, but not as good, and I don't get it. I think this one is leagues better than Running Free, in my opinion. Just the whole story of like, starting it off from like native perspective, and then shifting over to like white people's perspective of them absolutely just annihilating all the natives in the land, and then turning it into this like just awesome song. Like, this song is so good. Like, the main chorus is one of the most fun, memorable main choruses of all of the Iron Maiden songs. This is just an absolute classic. I think some people think it's overrated and whatnot. I think it's great. Next up at number 6, I have got my favorite off of Seventh Son of Seventh Son, and that is an uncommon pick for most people, but it's actually The Evil That Men Do. While Seventh Son of a Seventh Son has a lot of great songs, when it comes down to it, what really makes a song stick with me generally, not always, is what has the most fun, memorable, powerful chorus, and that is really why The Evil That Men Do is in there. Just the main chorus of him singing, "The evil that men do live on and on." Like, every time that's just so fun, so energetic, so great. Um, just, I don't know much more to say about that. Evil Men Do is an absolutely fantastic song, and I think probably a little bit underrated. Next up, at number 5, another song off of Number of the Beast, and that is 22 Acacia Avenue. Another one I feel like is a little bit slept on. This one actually, oddly enough, it reminds me a little bit of The Evil That Men Do. Those two are kind of like right there. It's another one with just an absolutely excellent chorus, some really interesting lyrics that are kind of hard to decipher a little bit. I mean, sort of, but not really. But I don't know. This is just another song where it's just super fun, super memorable, really great for re-listening to it. 22 Acacia Avenue, great song. Next up at number 4, I have got title track Dance of Death. I know there are few who would put this song to this high, but I am one of those few because I absolutely love this song. I know it owes a lot to Number of the Beast, having that style of like in the story, this dude who sees this thing happening and then he kind of gets, I don't know, pulled into it. What really sets this one higher than a lot of other songs is that riff once it gets into the actual groove of it, where it's like, and then it like just skyrockets. Like, that is one of, if not my favorite riff in all of Iron Maiden. It's so fun. It reminds me of just like a pirate sea shanty of some sorts. I love the story, like the atmosphere that it conveys. I just have, generally I just have more fun with this song than so many other songs and Iron Maiden songs in general. That's why it's higher than Number of the Beast, although I love Number of the Beast and it does owe a lot to Number of the Beast. But Dance of Death, I absolutely love it. But moving into my top 3, all of these were so close. I think I could probably put each of these at number 1 in a different time, but this is where they are right now. I'm sure my opinions will change down the line. But at number 3, it is my favorite long epic ballad Iron Maiden song, and that is Rime of the Ancient Mariner. Man, this is just so freaking good. I remember I actually read the actual story of Rime of the Ancient Mariner in class. And so actually going into this and listening to it after I'd read the story, I was like, holy cow, this is just a way more fun way of hearing the actual story of Rime of the Ancient Mariner, because it's actually a really fun, fascinating story, and to tell it in this long epic ballad that is somehow like doesn't lose your attention throughout, because like there's constantly changing styles and riffs and vocals, is just so fun and so refreshing. I love the little refrain in the middle, when like that creepy narrator goes on and is talking about all of the people dying, like, and you just hear like the waves crashing in the background. Just so freaking good. I love it so much. I would probably say it might be the most impressive and well put together Iron Maiden song. But other ones are just a bit higher because, once again, this is 13 minutes and it's a little bit harder to listen to over and over again because it's so long. So these next two are higher because I think they're more re-listenable. And next up, at number 2, I have the title track, Fear of the Dark. This is just so freaking good. Like, just, it has that classic Iron Maiden start of it starting off slow with like Bruce doing like this almost mini monologue song thing, and then it like kicking off. And it has, one of the best choruses, if not the best choruses in all of Iron Maiden. The guitar work is just fast paced and just fun and energetic, and it has one of the best roller coasters of all of Iron Maiden. I say more about it in my favorite title tracks. It's my favorite Iron Maiden title track. Fear the Dark, so freaking good. It's great. And below my favorite by just a touch, but my number one, and honestly, it's most people's number one, but for good reason, is Hallowed Be Thy Name. Hallowed Be Thy Name is another one of those where it's like, there's not much more you can say. This is one of the most classic, probably one of the greatest metal songs of all time. Just super thoughtful, insightful lyrics of this dude who's about to be hanged, and he's reflecting on his life and like the meaning of existence. It's so interesting just on, an existential and just, philosophical level, and then it's also a freaking sick song too. Like, one of the best riffs in Iron Maiden. Bruce sounds probably better than he ever does in these lyrics here. It's fast and it's slow, and it's, thoughtful and it's powerful, and it's just the epitome of what makes Iron Maiden an absolutely fantastic and timeless band. Hallowed Be Thy Name, absolutely fantastic song. And that is it. That is all my top 20 favorite Iron Maiden songs. So comment below and tell me, what are your favorite Iron Maiden songs. Let me know which picks in my list you agreed with, which ones you didn't agree with. Give it a like or dislike if you like the video or not. Consider subscribing and whatnot. I'll probably have some more videos coming here and there. I think this is going to be it for Iron Maiden for a bit, but I'll probably have some more metal, some more maybe game or movie content. So stay tuned. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.